Hello, my name is Gyuszi Suto. I'm going to read excerpts from The Sibling. This is the book. Chapter 1. Mom and Dad were about to leave the house. Kim saw the worry on their faces, especially Mom's. Usually she held her head high, but now her shoulders were slumped and she had dark circles under her eyes. Honey, Mom said, we are going to be gone for some time, maybe all day. Are you going to be all right? Sure, Mom. There is food in the fridge. It's not the best, but you have to contend with it. How bad is it, Mom? Mother pressed her lips together. Eat some fruit. Those yellow apples are sweet. And make sure your brother doesn't eat too much junk food. Mom, Kim said with pleading eyes. Mom fought back tears, leaned down, and whispered something in Kim's ear. Dad hugged Mom from behind and stroked her shoulder. He called Zach in a deep voice. Hey, buddy, come here for a sec. Zach came to the hallway, followed by Cooper, the family Labrador. Zach had woken up 20 minutes earlier. His curly brown hair was unkempt and looked like a bird's nest. He was carrying a colorful box and was fixated on its cover image. Zach, Mom and I will be gone pretty much all day, Dad said, combing his son's hair with his large palm and long fingers. Your sister's going to be with you. You have to listen to her and do what she says. I'm going to play my new computer game, Dad. Zach, we need you to be nice to your sister and listen to her. Whatever she tells you, chores, dishes, clean up, you do it, okay? No arguments. I need you to be best friends today, the best ever. We are going through difficult times, and I need your understanding and cooperation. Okay, Dad, I understand. Zach grabbed Dad's large hand. It exuded authority and protection. Zach then hugged Mom, stood on his toes, and gave a kiss on her cheek. Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. They watched as Dad and Mom drove away in their beige minivan. Zach finished installing his new computer game and has his setup ready. Keyboard, mouse, joystick, and potato chips. Kim sat on the sofa, gently petting Cooper and playing with his big, floppy ears. He looked lazy, happy, and content. He yawned, and she could see all the way into his throat, could see the roof of his mouth with black ridges, his healthy and strong teeth, and his giant, wet tongue. Zach's computer game came alive. It showed a dark scene in a medieval town with several heavy wooden doors and alleyways. A message appeared at the top of the screen in yellow. Find the green orb. A treasure hunt, Zach said. Oh yeah. Kim looked over Zach's shoulder at the screen. She stood up and hurried to the bookshelf on the far side of the living room, pulled out some family photo albums, and started to flip through the pages. She skipped back and forth. This is an illustration on that page. She skipped back and forth, opened the second album, browsed through it, and opened the third album. Midway through the fourth, she found what she was looking for. She took a long look at the photo and tried to figure out the details. Hey Zach, do you still have your magnifying glass? Yeah, somewhere in my room, Zach said, immersed in his game. It did not take him long to find the magnifier in Zach's room. She had given it to him for his 5th birthday when he was still into catching and keeping grasshoppers and praying mantises. Returning to the living room, she held the glass and leaned over the photo. With a ballpoint pen, she wrote a long word on the inside of her left palm. She walked over to Zach. He was negotiating some kind of maze through a swamp. his character walking on half-rotten planks of a boardwalk with paths crisscrossing over muddy water and alligators ominously floating nearby. She dug her fingers into his hair from behind. Ever since he was little, he had had a big cloud of wavy hair. It was blonde in his first years, and then turned light brown. Everybody liked his hair and patted him on his head, stroked him, or combed through his hair. He was used to it and would duck forward if it was too much. This time, he was so immersed in his game that he didn't move. Zach, can you pause your game? Not now. I almost made it through. Kim waited until he crossed the swamp. Zach, can you please pause? Okay. He paused the game, jumped up, and ran to the bathroom. We need to go downtown, she said when Zach had returned to his computer setup. Downtown? Why? Because we need to get something. Why now? Can't it wait? I want to play. This is going to be more exciting than your game. Going downtown more exciting than the game? How come? Well, it's a treasure hunt. Can't it wait until tomorrow? I plan to play this game today. Kim gave her brother a big bear hug. Her braided hair dangled around his ear. It tickled him, and he jerked his head. She leaned towards his ear, said something in a low voice, and showed him the word written on her left palm. How will we do it? It's not possible, Zach said. Hey, you crossed an alligator-infested swamp without being eaten alive, and that seemed impossible from the first look. Yes, but that's not real. What you want to do is real. And even more exciting, it's a real treasure hunt. A real treasure hunt, repeated Zach. What if we fail? Then at least we gave it a shot. When will we be back? I really want to play my game. I don't know. But if you don't get back in time for you to play today, I'll help you with your homework tomorrow and you can play then. How about I play now for an hour and then we go? No. We need to get going now if we want to have a chance. By the way, can you please inflate my rear tire? It's kind of flat. Meanwhile, I'll pack some snacks and give Cooper a rawhide treat. And then I'm going to continue in this same story. I'm going to go later in the story. They rode up a gentle slope between oak trees. The acorns all over the pavement popped under their tires. Zach started to zigzag his front wheel, trying to hit more acorns. Once they came to the top of the hill, they saw an old home at the end of a dead-end street. The small house had 2 windows, a front door to the left and a garage to the right. It was wedged between 2 giant oak trees and had a brick chimney in the middle of the wood shingled roof. This is an illustration here. Kim and Zach. They coasted to the house and Zach rang the bell. They waited patiently. An old chime gently swung in the wind. Zach rang again. The old man opened the door, leaning on a black walking stick with a silver ornamented handle. He had a long face, tall forehead, blonde eyebrows, watery blue eyes, and a full head of white hair. Hello, Kim looked into her left palm. Are you Mr. Bjorn Swanson? She was unsure how to pronounce the name properly. I'm Kevin, the old man said. Kevin Svensson. Bjorn Svensson was my father. He died more than 50 years ago. How can I help you two? Zach told him about Al's pawn shop, the ledger, and how they got his address. Kim showed him the writing in her left palm. Kevin put on his glasses and read the inscription. "Why are you interested in this particular camera?" In a low voice, Kim told him the reason. Kevin thought for a while. "I have the camera." "Really? I can't believe it," the siblings shouted in unison. "Actually, I have one part of the camera. Come on in, I'll show you." They went inside. The living room was neat and clean. There was a mug of steaming tea on the table next to an open book, and it smelled like elderflower. Kevin led them through the hallway into the garage. It was full of tennis rackets, cross-country skis, alpine skis, helmets, ropes, boots, rucksacks, and dusty ping-pong table. There were faded posters on the walls showing skiers, ice skaters, ski jumpers, and mountains. Several of the posters had Olympic rings on them. He opened a tall cabinet, put his glasses on, pulled out a drawer, and carefully lifted out a box. It looked like it was made of wood and painted black. There was a gaping hole on its front with 6 small mounting holes around it. On the right side was glued a fading label in the shape of a stop sign. "Is this a camera?" "It doesn't look like one," Zach said, slightly disappointed. "This is the body," said Kevin. "The lens is supposed to be here in the front." "Do you have the lens?" Kim asked. "No, but I know the person who has it." They went back to the living room. Kevin placed the camera body on the table, and the siblings carefully inspected it. Kevin took out a pen and paper and wrote an address, and he told Kim and Zach where to go and what to say. "We don't have much money with us, but our parents can pay for it," Kim said. "Don't worry about it. You can have it. It's of no use to me anymore," Kevin said. Kim pulled out the last 2 apples from her bag and laid them on the table. She gently lowered the camera body inside the bag while Zach held the flaps open. "Thank you, Mr. Swenson. Thank you. Can we give these apples to you? They don't fit in the bag anymore." "Yes, you can leave them here," replied Kevin. He ushered them to the front door. They hurried to their bikes, waved goodbye, and started pedaling. They were halfway up the slope when Kevin, standing at the threshold, banged the wind chime with the silver handle of his walking stick. "Hey! Come back!" Startled, the siblings stopped, turned around, and coasted back to the house. "I'm coming with you," Kevin said in a resolute tone. "Are you sure?" asked Zach. "Yes, I'm sure." But how? You can hardly walk." "Shh," Kim said. "Wait there." Kevin went back in the house, and a minute later, the garage door opened with slow, jerky moves. He walked toward the ping-pong table. "Young man, what's your name?" "I'm Zach, and she's my sister, Kim." "Zach, come here and help me, will you?" Together, they pulled a dusty brown tarp off an old bicycle. It was dark blue and had curvy frame, a basket behind the seat, and 3 wheels. "Why does this bike have 3 wheels?" asked Zach. "It's not a bike, it's a tricycle," Kevin said. He checked the pressure in the tires, and all of them were deflated. He pulled out a worn pump and tried to inflate the front tire. His movements were slow, and it was clear that he had a hard time leaning or kneeling down. "Let me do it," Zach offered. He inflated all the tires. Each had a white wall on the side and a black running surface. He had never seen this kind of tire before. They rolled the trike out of the driveway, and Kevin put on an old motorcycle helmet. It was dark gray and scratched, looking like a campfire pot turned upside down. He stuck his walking stick through the trike's wire basket, carefully mounted the vehicle, and started pedaling up the hill. "Don't you need to close your garage?" Zach said. "Nah, nothing worth stealing there. The only thing of value is in your sister's backpack." When they got halfway up, he paused. Kim and Zach slowed down and circled around him. "Do you need a push, Mr. Swenson?" Kim said. "No, I should be able to manage. Just give me some time to get my body going. Oh, and call me Kevin." He held onto his brakes to prevent the trike from rolling back, leaned forward, and continued pedaling up the road. They reached the top. Kevin's house was behind them, and in front of them, the road gently sloped down. "Kim, get in front, will you? Nice and slow. Zach, get behind your sister." They started coasting down the road. After 4 blocks, Kevin rang his bell and shouted, "Take a right here." They kept rolling through the neighborhood. Kim peered back and adjusted her speed so that Kevin could keep up with them. Zach slowed down and rolled close to the blue contraption. "Mr. Swenson, Kevin, why do you ride a trike?" "How old are you, Zach?" asked the old man. Here's an illustration with Kim, Zach, and Mr. Swenson, Kevin Swenson. "How old are you, Zach?" asked the old man. 7. "See, you're young, and your bones are strong and flexible. If you fall, nothing happens except maybe a bruise." He took long breaths. "I'm 89. My bones are like china. If I fall, they'll shatter like a porcelain vase. I need the extra wheel. Believe me, I rode real bicycles until my knees and back gave up. That's why I need a 3rd wheel. And the cane." Kevin nodded over his shoulder toward the basket holding his walking stick. Zach nodded back at him. Kim turned her head back. "Are you okay, Kevin?" "Never better," answered the old man. The pale look on his face changed to a light pink. He looked lively with a mischievous smile. He was going at a slow but steady pace. "Sorry, kids, I can't pedal any faster than this, but we should be there in 20 minutes. It was late afternoon. The slanted rays of the sun shone through the gaps between the houses. People were walking on the streets. Kids were drawing with chalk on the sidewalks, and some were shooting hoops. They watched with interest as the peculiar trio rode through the neighborhood. They made the left turn into gravel road and rode a few 100 feet. Kevin rang the bell on his trike. "This is it." They stopped in front of a house with an iron fence. The fence had sharp spikes on top, and its gate was made of heavy wood with massive steel brackets. Through the fence, the trio saw the window that faced the street, but they could not see the entrance to the house. Kevin slowly got off his bike, and Zach got his stick out and handed it to him. "Thank you, young man." Kevin limped to the main gate, reached for the bell, and pushed the button. There was silence. Maybe the bell rang inside the house, but they couldn't hear it. He rang it again and again. Nothing. They tried a few more times and waited for 5 minutes. Kevin started to reach for a small stone. "Zach, pick up a stone or two." Zach did so. Kevin went to the fence, grabbed an iron bar with his left hand, and held his right on deck, stone in his fist. Then he changed his mind and lowered his arm. "Zach, why don't you throw this pebble into the window?" "Are you sure?" Kim asked. "I'm very sure," Kevin said firmly, childish excitement on his reddened face. Just be careful, don't break the glass. Zack took the pebble and threw it between two iron bars. It hit the window with a light ping. Moments later, the blinds turned and they saw a ghost-like image appear. It was like seeing Kevin's own reflection in the window. The blinds turned again and obscured the view. One more, Kevin said. Zack threw another rock, and this one hit the pane with a louder smack. A spider crack appeared on the window. Oh no, oops, I'm sorry, Zack said. Don't worry, it's all right, Kevin said. The blinds turned again, and the grumpy face appeared. They could see the man more clearly now. He looked very much like Kevin. Kevin opened his arms, hugged the youngsters, and looked straight at the window. The other man looked at them for a long time, motionless. Nobody moved as they stared at each other.